Hello, fellow history explorers. Did you know that thousands of years before the first ice cream truck jingled down a street, ancient emperors were savoring frozen treats that rivaled today's gourmet scoops, all without a single freezer in sight? Imagine biting into a creamy delight on a scorching summer day in the Roman Forum or a Persian palace today. We're uncovering how these ingenious civilizations turned snow and ingenuity into dessert magic. Buckle up for a chilling journey through time that reveals the surprising roots of your favorite summer indulgence. If you love diving into the past like this, subscribe to History's Hidden Flavors for more tasty tales. Let's start at the very beginning, where the story of ice cream isn't about cream at all, but about humanity's clever battle against heat. Picture this. It's around 2000 BC in the sun-baked lands of Mesopotamia, along the Euphrates River. The people here, known for their ziggurats and early writing systems, weren't just building empires, they were engineering ways to chill out. Archaeological evidence from sites like your shows they constructed the world's first ice houses, deep underground pits lined with reeds and mud bricks to store snow harvested from distant mountains or even imported from as far as Lebanon. These weren't fancy fridges, but practical marvels. Workers would pack layers of snow with straw for insulation, creating a natural cooler that could preserve ice through sweltering summers. Why go to such lengths? For the elite, of course. Kings and priests sipped cooled wines and perhaps early flavored ices, mixing melted snow with date syrup or fruits like figs. Historical records from cuneiform tablets hint at these practices, describing cold water houses used for royal banquets. Imagine a weary Mesopotamian laborer, sweat-drenched under the relentless sun, hauling sleds of ice across the desert on donkey backs. His reward, maybe a stolen taste of that sweet, icy slurry that made the gods jealous. But was this true ice cream? Not quite, more like a proto-sorbet. Yet, it laid the groundwork for everything that followed. Without these ice houses, later civilizations might never have dreamed of frozen delights. And here's a suspenseful twist. Some scholars speculate these techniques spread via trade routes, whispering secrets of the cold to far-flung empires. Could a single caravan have carried the spark that ignited global desert history? Fast forward to China, where the real creamy magic begins to stir. Historical accounts from the Tang Dynasty around 618 to 907 AD describe frozen milk-based treats that sound tantalizingly close to modern ice cream. According to poems and records in texts like the Compendium of Materia Medica by Li Shijin, though compiled later, it draws on ancient sources. Emperor Tang of Shang, ruling as early as 2000 BC in some legends, employed 94 icemen to craft dishes from buffalo milk flour and camphor, frozen in metal containers packed with snow. How did they do it? Ice was harvested from winter rivers and stored in massive imperial ice cellars, some holding thousands of tons. The mixture was simple, yet sophisticated. Boil milk with rice or flour for thickness. Infuse with aromatic camphor from evergreen trees for a cool, minty kick. Then chill it in ice-backed vessels. Stirring prevented large crystals, creating a smooth texture. Eyewitness accounts from court poets rave about these treats, reserved for royalty. Imagine a young concubine in the Forbidden City, her silk robes whispering as she sneaks a spoonful the camphor's chill, sending shivers of delight through the humid air. Was camphor the secret ingredient that made it addictive, or just a preservative? Sources like the Tanjira New Book of Tang confirm these luxuries, noting how they symbolized power. Only the emperor could afford such extravagance. But here's where curiosity peaks. Some historians debate if these were truly ice cream or just iced milk puddings. Subtle stories suggest experimentation, perhaps a clever KitchenAid accidentally overstirred, discovering a creamier consistency that changed palace feasts forever. This Chinese ingenuity didn't stay isolated. Trade along the Silk Road likely shared ideas, hinting at cross-cultural influences we'll explore next. What if one forgotten recipe traveled west, transforming desserts into desert havens? Now, let's journey to ancient Persia, where the Achaemenid Empire, around 550 to 330 BC, turned chilling into an art form. Persian engineers built yakhchals, dome-shaped ice houses with wind-catching towers that funneled cool air underground, preserving ice year-round, even in arid heat. Historical texts like those from Herodotus, the Greek historian who visited around 450 BC, describe Persians enjoying frozen rosewater drinks. But the star was Faloodeh, a granita-like treat that's arguably the oldest surviving ice cream relative. The method: thin vermicelli noodles made from rice or wheat starch were mixed with a syrup of rosewater, sugar, and lime, then frozen in ice from the Yakhchal. Salt might have been added to the ice surround to lower the freezing point, a technique noted in later Arabic sources, but possibly originating here. Imagine a Persian noble in Persepolis, reclining on silk cushions after a feast as servants present a bowl of shimmering Faloodeh garnished with pistachios, the floral notes exploding. On his tongue, a brief escape from the empire's endless wars. Archaeological digs in Iran confirm Yakhchal ruins, and Persian poetry from the era evokes these treats as symbols of refinement. Suspense builds when we consider, did Alexander the Great, after conquering Persia in 330 BC, taste Faloodeh and carry the idea back to Greece? Sources like the Oxford Companion to Food suggest parallel developments, but the allure of hidden trade secrets keeps us wondering. This Persian innovation bridged sorbets and creams, influencing neighbors and setting the stage for dairy delights. Shifting to the Indian subcontinent, the Mughal Empire, 1526 to 1857 AD, but with roots in earlier traditions, perfected kulfi, a dense, creamy frozen treat that feels like ice cream's luxurious cousin. Ancient Vedic texts from around 1500 BC mention cooled milk drinks, but Mughal emperors, like Akbar, elevated it. Court records from the Ain-i-Akbari, a 16th century administrative document by Abul Fazl, detail kulfi, made by slowly simmering milk with sugar, cardamom, and nuts until thickened, then pouring into conical metal molds sealed with dough and buried in ice-salt mixtures. Ice came from Himalayan harvests, transported by boat and cart, a logistical feat. The salty bath, an exothermic trick lowering temperatures to -5 degrees Celsius, allowed slow freezing for that signature creaminess without churning. Picture a Mughal princess in the Taj Mahal's gardens, her jewels glinting as she unmolds a pistachio-studded kulfi, the spices warming her palate against the cold. Was this method borrowed from Persian kin or an independent genius? Historians, like those in Harvest of the Cold Months by Elizabeth David, note Mughal refinements, adding flavors like mango or saffron for opulence. Here's a thought-provoking what if. Without Mughal trade with the Middle East, might kulfi have remained a simple iced milk? This fusion of techniques hints at a global web of desert evolution, teasing connections to Europe. Finally, we arrive in ancient Rome, where excess met innovation. Emperor Nero, 54 to 68 AD, is infamous for his fiddling while Rome burned. But historical accounts from Pliny the Elder in Natural History 77 AD paint him as an ice cream pioneer. Runners dashed to the Apennine Mountains, fetching snow packed in straw to Rome. There, it was mixed with honey, fruits like strawberries or citrus, and sometimes wine for a slushy treat called nivete potions. Techniques were rudimentary: crush snow, blend with sweeteners in bronze vessels, and serve immediately to elites at banquets. Suetonius, in his Lives of the Caesars 121 AD, recounts Nero's obsession, demanding these ices even during campaigns. Envision a gladiator, fresh from the arena, rewarded with a bowl of fruit-laced snow, the cold soothing his wounds. A fleeting luxury in a brutal world. But was Nero the inventor, or just the most extravagant fan? Greek influences from earlier, like snow sold in Athens markets 5th century BC, suggest borrowed ideas. The mystery lingers. Did Roman legions spread these methods across the empire, planting seeds for medieval sherbets? Sources debunk Marco Polo myths, emphasizing independent paths, but the thrill of possible lost recipes keeps us hooked. In wrapping up this frosty odyssey, we have seen how ancient civilizations conquered heat with ingenuity, from Mesopotamian pits to Roman runners, using nature's cold to craft treats that evolved into today's ice cream. Key lessons: innovation thrives in necessity, and luxury often drives progress. But mysteries remain. Could modern sustainability revive these salt ice methods to cut energy use? Was there an undiscovered link between these empires that history overlooked? Share your thoughts in the comments. What ancient flavor would you recreate? And don't forget to like, subscribe to History's Hidden Flavors, and hit that bell for more delectable dives into the past. Until next time, keep exploring.